Oh, hi. There are a whole bunch of you here. Can you guys hear me fine? I've come on live after a very long time. What's up? Hi, Hitchhiker. What's up, Razel? Wow, there's a lot of guys here already. Six people. Wow, I was expecting like two. I didn't really plan today's live very well, but here we are. Nice to have you guys here. Hitchhiker, I've not reviewed nothing earphones in a long time. I don't think I'm going to continue with them. Also, OnePlus Buds Pro 3, I've not yet entered that territory. And you're talking about mass market stuff. I've not done mass market stuff as well in a long time, although I need to start doing that again. Hi, Vishnu, how are you? I'm doing fine, man. Thanks. Yeah, so anyway, I've not been on lives for a long time. In fact, yesterday I came out with a video after a little over a week and a half. I've been a little busy with other things, work outside of my normal stuff. So that, of course, took priority. But I don't know if many of you spotted, but I had, for the very first time, a giveaway on that video. And one guy did get it. I don't know if he's going to be here today, but I've asked him to be. Let's see if he comes on. I have to figure out how to reach this thing to him. Who won it? I forget now who won it, but I've got the details here. Ah, yeah, I've got it. I messaged him on this thing, but I've not seen anything. So, what's up with you guys? What's happening? Are you guys set for audio stuff, or you guys still looking to buy stuff for Christmas or something? I think all the sales are largely over now. Headphone Zone had a sale. I think that's over. Amazon had sales. That's over. And I'm planning on doing a video on um, my favorite earphones, headphones, and IEMs for 2024. I've not yet done it. I hope I can get to do it before I go on my annual leave. Let's see. Hi, Mr. Venkatesh. I'm happy you like them. They're one of my favorite earphones. They're definitely one of my favorites. Why do IMs above 10K don't have microphones? Well, that's largely because majority of people who are spending money like that are more focused on listening to good music instead of using their IMs for gaming or anything else. So what a lot of people do is they usually swap the cables if they want something with a mic, or there are ways to do have a separate microphone input. But another thing is, if you are plugged into your phone while you're gaming, your phone's microphone takes over anyway. So a lot of these brands don't spend extra money on having a separate mic in the cable and all that, because they use those resources towards putting, better materials into the IMs, or uh, better drivers and so on. So microphones are not a priority, especially if you're a proper audiophile. You're not really interested in other people hearing you. It's all about hearing the music better. Upgraded to Sennheiser HD 560S. Nice. Let me just check. HD 650S. Let me see which ones those are. I don't think I've heard these. Wait, 650 or 560? 560S. Oh, these are a open back set. Wow. Nice. What are the specs on this? Let me just check before I let you know. 6 to 38. What kind of resistance does this have? Six, 560 s impedance is 120 ohms. Uh, you need something that is a good amount of kick, man. Normally, headphones I always recommend using a desktop setup, not a portable amp. Your little, Wi-Fi Go links and all won't do justice to this for sure. You need a dedicated sort of amp setup. Portable stuff I won't recommend because the minute you start saying 120 ohms, you need a lot more power than what portable stuff can do. For that matter, I do have a Fio Mont Blanc from many years ago. It's a nice little portable amp. It is powerful, but not powerful enough, for a proper headphone setup. So my first set of headphones, in fact, was the Bear Dynamic DT 990, and I used the Mont Blanc for that for the longest time. But eventually, when I bought the Shitlear 2 desktop tube amp, those headphones took on a very different personality. So you definitely need a more sort of solid amping setup with a good deck. The sadly, the higher in price you go with better headphones and speakers, the more you kind of have to invest because things get more transparent. They crave that much more power basically, and I mean, yeah, you can definitely use portable amps, but it won't unlock it to its full potential for sure. Moving on. Best DAC in under 1K, 2K. I have not tested any DACs in 1K, 2K. I think the most affordable one I've tested is the Headphone Zone DD Hi-Fi collaboration one. That's a nice one. But I believe a lot of people say that it's similar to some Audacular one. I have to, in fact, get my hands on Audacular. The folk at Concept Cart have reached out to me, so they were offering to send it, but I've literally got like a whole bunch of products that I still haven't caught up with. So I've kind of stopped taking any products in for review. So once I get this clear, I'll move on to the Audacular more affordable stuff. But I've heard good things about it. Razel, this is a very interesting question. Does the Tangzu One SG-IM provide better noise isolation and sound quality? Uh, that's a deadly one, man, because I've always found it kind of unfair to compare the two. Now, obviously, you expect diminishing returns, because the Tangzus are like what, 1500, 1900, 2000 rupees, whereas the earphone is, it's you're basically kind of comparing like a modified tuned car for performance to, let's say, a car that has features AC and sunroof and all that sort of stuff. So I wouldn't say it's fair to do the comparison, but isolation wise, passive isolation, the Tangzu might be a bit better. I've not done any A/B testing. These are two very different things. I've not thought about comparing them. But sound quality wise, I do like what Earphone is doing. They're a very fun sounding set of earphones. The Air 3 Pro, the Air 4 Pro, even the Free Pro 3, they've tuned them very well. They're more fun sounding. They're not as analytical as IMs. If you're looking for detail, nuance, all that sort of stuff, excuse me, the Tangsu does have a slight edge over that for sure. So these are two different things. I mean, apples and oranges. You can't really compare the two, honestly. Moving on. CKS. Go for the what are these? Oriveti OD200. Very good set of IMs. Super price. These should not be sold at 10,000. It's a bit criminal that they're being sold for this price. And for those of you who are eagle-eyed enough, I think you all know what comparison I'm working on with these three uh, earphone cases. DT90 Pros recently and loving it so far. They could do wonders with an amp. Yes, absolutely. Hamza, the DT990 Pro. In fact, I did a review of it. I borrowed a friend's pair, DT990 Pros. Um, Beautiful sounding headphones. In fact, I do prefer them to my 990s. They do have a few sort of plus points over this. I've not done a comparison, but I do like certain things with that in particular, and uh, they definitely do open up a lot more with a better amp. They need a better amp for sure. Two questions. Can you please tell me which would be good for Bollywood? Nice song by Audi 200. Music album got. This is a good question, Anirban, because I've just started sitting and listening to these three, and they're all very good in different regards. But I think if you're looking for a fullness in sound, if you're looking for a richness in detail, the most value for money, the absolute value for money piece of IEMs for heavier bass, better depth is the OD200. The SimGot is, it's I do like it, but on first impressions when you do A/B testing, a lot of people will go for the OD200. But I still do need to spend time with this. I do like to put in a lot of effort and time when I'm breaking these things down. So I'll say if you like a fullness in sound, go for the OD200 for sure. The Meze Alba is great, but the dongle DAC it comes with in the packaging is not up to the mark. In fact, in my review, I think I've mentioned that the only bottleneck these IEMs have is that dongle DAC. They need a better dongle DAC. For that matter, even using an i5 Gold link is superior to the provided dongle DAC in the Meze package. So yeah, OD200 affiliate link down in the description below if you want to support the channel. If you don't want to, no issue, go to Headphone Zone directly and buy it. But yeah, that 9,999 price on it is criminal. It's crazy. Wish no open backs are like an experience for years. Yes, distortion left the chat. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I prefer open backs any day. In fact, I prefer them to IEMs uh, or close backs or whatever else. It's the closest thing you get to listen to a speaker when it comes to headphones. A lot of new folk. Hi guys, welcome to today's live. My lives are normally very long. I'm planning on keeping today's short because it is getting late. Everyone's got work tomorrow, so I think this is the first time I've done a live on a Sunday. Normally I do these on Mondays, but anyway, here we are. It's not. Nihar, hi Paul. Using a smartphone that having inbuilt high-res audio, 3.9 like Xiaomi K20 Pro is good, or using a high-res DAC in terms of sound quality? This is a superb question, Nihar. I hope there are other people who are listening to this and have read your comment. The problem today is that a lot of brands are able to get this high-res sticker slapped onto their brand or to their company. It's very easy to do now. They just have to go to some authority, I think in Japan, to get that sticker now. And the thing is, high-res is quantified by them as a matter of a few numbers. If it's able to do this sampling rate at this bit depth, it is written off as, yeah, oh, this is high-res capable. Now, as nice as it is that it can handle all that kind of stuff, I've noticed in my experience that a lot of things depend a lot on hardware. Is if the hardware is good enough, is it able to convert the ones and zeros first of all to a good analog signal? There are some products that don't, so they sound absolutely rubbish even after having the high-res sticker slapped on them. And over and above that, it needs to have a good amping chip to amp that analog signal. So chances are it might have a good little DAC that converts the ones and zeros to a decent analog signal. It'll do the numbers, but is it doing it properly is the next question. And then if they put a really crappy amp, it's not going to be good. So this is something that you might only be able to realize if you've had enough experience with a lot of high-res stuff, speakers, headphones, earphones. You'll be able to hear the compression through transparent enough earphones, headphones. But that's a very good question. Usually I don't think a lot of these brands have good high res. The only brand I know that did good work with audio in particular was LG had some very genuinely very good hardware where you didn't need to even consider external um, dongle DACs or all that sort of stuff for portability. Desktop setups, you'd need something for sure. But yeah, that's a superb question. Thanks, Nihar, for that. I hope it's helped somebody else understand. Shah Jahan. Hi, no, Shah Jahan. Somebody else won. I don't think he's here today. So I'll have to reach out to him some other way. There were a few people who came very close to mentioning, how. Um, how many of those little icons I had mentioned, but there was one person who got it absolutely right. And I'm surprised that as many people replied, because a lot of people don't watch my whole video. So the fact that you got to the end is pretty awesome. Thanks for that. That's pretty cool. Vishnu was looking for flu, FIO, huh? FIO. K11 R2 and non-2 are original K11. Okay, I've not tested those. I can't comment on them, man, because most say IEMs are better than TWS. I wanted to compare sound quality. Rezel, you know the best thing to do is to do it. Listen to it yourself. You can ask as many people about this IEM versus TWS thing. I do have one review on it where I compare the Tangzu to the JBL some TWS earphones I had. Check that video out if you'd like to. But it's also a matter of preference, man. Like are you talking to a guy who's an audiophile? He's going to obviously like the IEM. If you talk to a guy who likes wireless portability and convenience, he's going to like the TWS. So it's important that preference factor is always there. Excuse me. So I'd say try and get your hands on some stuff. Listen to it yourself. You make your own uh, sort of opinion. It's trust your own ears. That's the best way to go. Um, Moving on. Tell you about IEMs. What fact do you want to know about IEMs? I prefer them, yeah, to wireless earphones. Um then moving to high power about Jewel Live Beam 3 Arterial. They're awesome. Thank you, honest. They're performing exactly. I'm so happy you like them, Chetan, and I'm so glad that my review helped you sort of understand them before you buy them. They're a nice set. They're pretty cool. I do like that. A lot of people found the screen thing to be a novelty item, but I found it to be really convenient. Like there are times when I get too involved with my phone, so I tend to start doom scrolling and okay, me emails and go to this, go to that, and then before you know it, you've lost like 15-20 minutes. So when I was using the JBL Livebeam 3 with that smart screen, I noticed my screen time was a lot less through each day that I was testing it. So I'm glad that they've got something like that, because even when I was doing my testing, I was able to just skip tracks from there, rather than do this. I don't like this because you can't see where you're interacting with, whereas the case is easier for me. So I do like that. So I mean, enjoy your new earphones, man. I'm glad you found them to be cool. Could you please describe the scene with earphones lifetime warranty? I don't know what the lifetime warranties are. I don't know what the coverage is. I'm not an employee of Earfund. But if you do want to ask them, feel free to write to them. I think they do get back pretty fast. For that matter, even their customer support. Usually, if people have problems within that 18-month period of the warranty, they do get back pretty quickly. So write to them if you want to know about their warranty. I need to procure EPZ Q1 Pro. Good choice on the three. Any suggestions? So Shahjahan, if you've seen the review, the one thing I didn't like was that uh, the peakiness in the upper mids. Um, I don't remember the cadenza doing that. If I'm not mistaken, the cadenza is pretty nicer. It's nicer sounding. It's a little fuller in the bass also. I think the EPZ is a nice set of earphones of IEMs. If you're okay with that mid-range accentuation, you can buy it. I've left the link down in the description below. I think, did I leave the? I don't know. Whatever. If it's most likely there. If it's not there, the link will be in the EPZ review. Now it is an affiliate link. Feel free to use it. If you don't want to use the affiliate link, no problem. I mean, there's no judgment. You can buy it directly off of Concept Cart. The EPZ has tied up with Concept Cart. In fact, EPZ is trying. They tried to reach out to me months ago, and I said no to them at the time, but eventually I said yes. They were quite persistent with wanting me to review their stuff, and I've got a whole lot of other EPZ stuff. In fact, they've made some really good stuff. I still have to review this. Let me just show you. They've got a beautiful little DAC over here. This is the EPZ TP35. It's a fantastic sounding little DAC. Um, and I mean, I've been using it lately for some stuff, but I like to take my time to break down stuff, for my reviews, as you guys know. So I'll be doing that review. Maybe not this year, but maybe in the new year because I'm still kind of swamped with stuff to do. But yeah, EPZ is a kind of new brand, but they're doing good stuff. And fun fact, EPZ actually started off in the industry as um, the company that made or molded 3D resin enclosures. So if you have got any IMs with a 3D resin enclosure, EPCs run it at their factory, which is pretty cool. Just small tidbit of information if you want. Anyway, moving on. No, your phone is providing a lifetime warranty on the air proof for to scan QR. Yeah, Razel, I don't know about that. Scanning the QR code, that's something I've not done myself. So write to them and ask them what the lifetime warranty is because I doubt it's the lifetime warranty is on your life. It's most likely on the life of the product. So you might want to check that out and see what they mean by that. I am under 2K. Avatar boy, hi. Um, I just recommended the FIO JD1 to a close friend of mine. He's just bought it, very taken with it, but he got the USB-C variant. He's just getting into the hobby, and he wasn't sure about how to go about it. So I said, try out the JD1 USB-C because it's got those 5 tunings you can cycle through, which is a very cool introduction into the hobby. So you can listen to different tunings and figure out what you like. So I would recommend the USB-C variant. I have not reviewed the USB-C variant, but feel free to check out my review on the JD one, of course. It is a nice little set of IEMs. Um, Nihar, yeah, I know. I'm on the same boat with you, man. I hope a lot of guys do cater to a better DAC and amp setup, but I don't. That era has died. I think where there's a very small percentage of people who still lean towards listening to good music, who still really like picking out nuances. Audiophiles are the 1% of the population, so figure that number out. It's not many people. I mean, even if you, for that matter, you pick up a high-end Apple computer, if they have introduced a better amping chip, so you can listen to higher resistant headphones on it. But anything I've heard on it, it just doesn't cut it. It's not as good as even as an i5 Go Link. So the hardware is not good enough, even if you're spending a lot of money on these products. So it's a sad place we live in, but it's good also because it's led to the birth of things like this, like getting a nice high-res DAC, portable DAC with a balanced out and a 3.5 mm. So it's pretty amazing that we get all this stuff anyway. So anyway, celebrations for that. Moving on. I just wanted to ask for a friend. I'm thinking I get the Pixel Buds too. Okay. Hi Rohit. Zensi. Hello. Hey, how do you get that turtle there? That's pretty cool. Yes, bought Tangzu Type C. Don't know why the mic doesn't work using some applications. It could be just some sort of a coding thing with the phone. I mean, there's a lot of softwares that may not accept something like that. But again, I don't know. You'll have to speak to somebody who's coding and all. But if it works largely with your camera stuff and all, it should be fine. It's most likely a software glitch with the software in your phone. Um, how was your experience with the DAC amp of FIO? The FIO amp I have is only an amp. It's a FIO Mont Blanc. It's a very old one. I bought that maybe 10 years ago. It's still going strong. Um, it's good. It's still working. I still use it when I go for the headphone connect events. I carry my FIO player X5 and the Mont Blanc amp. It's still going strong. It's a pretty nice product, and it still works. I use it for some of my testing. I move between the i5 Go Link, my FIO X5 and Mont Blanc amp, and then I move to my D50S and my tube amp on the desk. So I cycle between things to see how transparent some equipment is. So the FIO still works well. Uh, hmm. Already is the difference in sound quality with DT Hi-Fi and Hi-Fi Go Link? Okay, so Anirban, that's a good question. The OD 200, I prefer how the Hi-Fi Go Link sounds. I don't. I mean, the DD Hi-Fi is nice. It's not a bad product. It's a very good product. It's at a pretty good affordable rate. A lot of people say, the what was that other DAC? Whatever. There's another DAC that looks like it at a more affordable rate. They say it's just a more robust version, whatever. But I've heard the DD Hi-Fi and the Hi-Fi. I prefer the Hi-Fi Go Link. It's the beauty is in the details. There are a few subtleties that the Hi-Fi has, the DD doesn't. I've got a comparison between the two if you'd like to watch that. But I have, however, tested the Orivetti on a DAC from Rose Techniques. I think the RG550 that has a balanced out and a 4.4. So this, as you can see, the Orivetti has um, a 4.4 jack, a 2.5, and a 3.5. The current testing I'm doing, it's on the 3.5 because that's the most common jack I do have. But with that specific amp, this or the OD200 gets cleaner sounding. It gets a little more um, sure of itself. Listening to anything balanced from my experience, the set of IMs or headphones or whatever it is just gets sharper, it gets truer, it gets a lot more confident in its overall delivery. It's almost like a character change to a certain extent. Tuning stays the same, but because things get sharper and detailed, your imaging gets more tightly focused, and your stage does appear to be a little better spread out. Because if a guitar is coming at you from, let's say, somewhere here and it's this wide, the minute you use balanced, it narrows down, so it's coming from a more focused point source. So I'd say that the OD200 is a superb value for money set of IMs, because you also have the ability to use balanced. So honestly, I've always felt this set of IMs needs to sit at the 18 to 20,000 price range. It does sound like that. It does perform like that. The fact that Headphone Zone is selling it for 9,999 is criminal. It shouldn't be sold for that much. I don't know what their profit margins are, but it's definitely not as much as I think the original pricing that was around 18 or so, 16 or 18. But yeah, the OD200 is a sensational set of IEMs. Anyway, so in short, Anirban, if you are picking up the OD200, it's a great investment, because tomorrow, if you get better DACs and amps or even a desktop setup, your IEMs will start sounding better with that equipment. So a lot of people normally, when they go to buy speakers or headphones or earphones, I always say spend majority of your money on the speakers, on the headphones or the earphones. And if you can't afford good DAC and amps, do it later. But spend a good amount on your speakers and headphones, because I mean later it just works out. Sorry, moving on. Any budget amp recommend DT990 Pro 220 ohms? I've not spent much time or reviewed any portable amps, to be honest, but I check out some iFi stuff, man, because iFi does have some good desktop setups. They have good DAC amp setups. They've got amp setups independently. Yeah, I don't have too much experience with it. In fact, when I went for an amp, I just went, you know, for a very high-end one. It's held up pretty well. I've had it for, wow, December. In fact, this month makes it 5 years old. I've had it for 5 years, and it's doing well. It sounds beautiful. I love it. It's got a high-low gain, so I can test IEMs. I can test headphones. I can enjoy them. It's not just about the testing. So yeah, I mean, figure out your budget and work from there. And of course, if you need better information, I do know that the guys at Headphone Zone are willing to connect and walk you through stuff. I am on the 3K. Cadenza, EPZ Q1 Pro. These are the two that I really like. The Q1 Pro, I don't. The upper mids are a bit of an issue with me, but the Cadenza I think is easier there. So check out my reviews on this. Affiliate links down below if you'd like to pick it up. Using DAC make a difference in sound quality. I've got Warner SG. Don't think I like it that much. Tushar, the Warner SG is kind of sensitive to equipment, but yes, DACs normally do change up the cleanliness, the presentation to a certain extent. If you are plugging into, I remember the Tangzu being a little more transparent than most of the IEMs in the 2K price range. If you plug into bad hardware, you hear bad hardware. If you plug into good hardware, you hear better hardware. So try it out before you flog it. or whatever it is, because it's definitely one of my favorite IEMs out there. Um, there's in earbuds, I typically go for the ones with good sound ANC and mainly battery life, because in long term battery diminishes too quick and getting the Galaxy Buds. Yeah, I've heard the Galaxy Buds have good quality batteries. In your opinion, which phone do you suggest for high res audio? Abhijit, any phone. You just need to get a good high res DAC later. You can go for the most budget phone you want and just get a high res dongle DAC. LG used to make some very good stuff, but they don't do that. Zenzi, one question. Can you actually hear difference between 16-bit and 24-bit files? Because I looked some discussion about it, and some people said you can normally hear the difference after 16-bit. Uh, Zenzi, these are very deep questions for live over here. But it's a good question nonetheless. This Can you hear the difference concept is very subjective, because more so than anything else, when it comes to sound and comfort, all these preferences are a very big difference. But when it comes to 16 and 24, my experience has been, when I've listened to 16 and 24 to begin with, I didn't see any difference. The same way I didn't see any difference, or I feel any difference between uh, you know 480p and 720p on YouTube. There is a slight difference, but it's not so huge that it makes a big difference. So when you start watching 720p on YouTube and then you move to 480, then you're like, oh, hey man, there's not as much detail, there's not as much color, there's not as much sharpness, clarity, da da da. The same thing applies to audio. If you listen to high resolution audio, 24-bit, even 44 one is fine. Sampling rates, it's not that you can hear too much of a difference. But if you really listen to high res 24-bit stuff with good recordings and good mixes, and you acclimate to that resolution of audio, let's say over half an hour, and then I play a 16-bit audio for you, you're going to hear it, because you've gotten used to a higher resolution. Your ears have gotten used to it, your brain has gotten used to listening to that much more information. And it will have an impact, for sure, when it comes to listening to stuff. So now a lot of people don't care about these details and nuances. I presume the fact that you're asking a question like this does mean that, you're interested, you're looking into this kind of stuff. Then again, these are the other factors in this kind of question is, if you are listening to 16-bit and 24-bit, what is the equipment you're listening to? You have to eliminate your bottlenecks. If you're listening to 16 and 24 and comparing the differences on a 2000 rupee IM, you're not going to hear much of a difference. The minute you start looking at, I'd say 10,000, 20,000, maybe some things even in the 6,000-7,000 price range, they're transparent enough to hear the differences. So that's a good question. That's a very good question. But yeah, in my experiences, I'd say there is a difference. I have heard 16-bit CDs. I have heard SACDs that fire at 24-bit, and like I said, if you listen to it and acclimate to it, you'll be able to tell the difference. But A/B testing, it's too short a span for your ear and your brain to adapt to that much more data. But yeah, if again, it's like doing the comparison between high res audio and an MP3 file. 320 kbps bit depth is a whole lot of different. There's a sea of different opinions on it. But the best thing I always say, figure it out yourself. Do the testing yourself. Don't look at the snake oil. Don't consider the snake oil. Do the testing yourself. Even if somebody says, this whole break-in thing, burn-in thing, don't believe it. By all means, even I say do it, but don't believe it. Test it yourself with your own audio equipment, and you make an opinion for yourself. Moving on, should I replace Tangzu One or Caster Pro Bass version? I've not heard the Caster Pro Bass, so I can't really say, Tushar. And Tushar, I was just talking about burning in. It's a real thing, in my opinion, for some products. There are some products that I've heard that sound like they are, resisting, and they need a burn-in. So I'll normally run them in for about 24 hours. There are some things, on the other hand, that I listen to and they practically say, listen, no, I'm done. Like, I'm not going to open up. This is something that you realize only with experience, I'd say, because you get a feel for it. So there are some products that I have, heard, and I've been like, okay, this doesn't sound like it needs a burn in, but I've still done a burn in anyway, and I've checked it later, and there's not been a difference. So the thing is, when it comes to this question, like I mentioned to Zensi, um, don't listen to me. Uh, Try it yourself. Pick up a set of IEMs or whatever, whether they're 2K or 10K or 1 lakh. Pick them up, listen to them straight out of the box at whatever volume you like. Listen to 5 tracks that you like. Listen to the whole track, write your notes. I'm not even talking about measurements. I know a lot of people talk measurements. I don't believe in measurements at all. But write your notes down for each song, each track with that set of IEMs, and then let it run in for about 24 hours. Just let it keep running, with different music, different genres, and increase the volume gradually. The closer you get to, let's say, the 24-hour mark, excuse me, but don't over exceed the volume, because these are all fresh, they're all tight. I normally do my burn-ins at softer volumes, and every 5 hours I start increasing the volume ever so slightly, but I don't go over 40-50%, because that can put strain on the driver. And usually I found that when I compare my notes, there are differences. There is the tuning doesn't change, but the characteristic of delivery changes. Because if it's a very tight setup, a very tight driver, it's definitely not going to be as enthusiastic with highs. Certain snares are not going to sound good, certain cymbals aren't going to sound good, certain vocals will sound too shrill. When it burns in, it'll warm up, then lower frequencies can open up and be more prominent a little later on. So these are things that can happen, but again, form your own opinion. Fallen. Oh, hi. You got the i5 Goling for 2,999. It's a pretty good deal, I'd say. Even if it's unboxed. I mean, it's one of my favorites. I've had it for about, I think, over a year. Um, and I use it for all my testing. I really like it. It's genuinely a nice IEM. I own CCA Trio. Will it be, so by CA Hydro? How much difference is in general? Gautam, I'm really sorry, but I cannot comment because I've not tested any of these. I have not tested very many CCA products. I think I've only tested maybe 2 CCA products in the last few years, so I don't want to give you any wrong information. Yash, that's a good question. I don't know, but I think a lot of people who listen to the Tangzu, I've always maintained that the Tangzu is not a good beginner IEM. Yes, it is affordable, but it's not a good beginner IEM because what a lot of people have been doing with earphones and IEMs is they've been tweaking the high frequencies a lot to give you the sense of better detail. And when people first hear this, let's say at some sort of event, or if they hear a person's IEMs for the first time who's just got them, on first impressions, for example, the JD1 sounds superb. I've done a comparison between the JD1 and Tangzu. The JD1 sounds absolutely amazing because it's got the sparkle, it's got the flair, that you want to enjoy. But then that person who's listening to it for the first time is literally listening to it for what, 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, 10 minutes at the max. And then when you go on to the Tangzu Warner, it sounds dull because it doesn't have that accentuation and sparkle and brightness that the JD1 has. So usually people look at it and say it's not detailed enough, it's not you know rich enough sounding like the JD1, so they move away from the Tangzu. I found the people who appreciate the Tangzu are usually seasoned audiophiles who've been in the hobby for a few years. They've already owned things in the 2K, 5K, 10K, in some cases 20K price range. I've got a few people in my comment section who were appreciating the Tangzu Warner even after owning some very expensive stuff. So I mean, the appreciation for the Tangzu Warner comes from more seasoned folk because they have a better understanding for how music ideally should be, because the JD1 can cause a certain amount of fatigue if you listen to it over a longer period of time. Also, if you're high frequency sensitive, the Tangzu is not going to do that. But at the same time, it's got very good detail in its overall presentation. My review was this 6 Pros only lasting 5 hours without ANC and LDAC. It's been only 3 months. Uh, if your Realme is only lasting 5 hours, what volume are you listening to it at? That's a factor. If you listen to it at 50% volume, you should get the battery claim times that Realme has specified. If you are doing over 50%, if you're doing even 55, your battery will not do as is claimed. But if it's still not performing adequately, I'd say talk to Realme customer support. Um, is it the best under 5K? I don't know. I've not tested the 6 Pro yet. I don't know if I'm going to. Okay, Abhijit. Hi. Thank you for I have OnePlus 11 recent purchase balance DAC DDI5 Moondrop 2. Okay. Beginner, I ordered balance cable of stairway. I think good. Yeah, it should be a good setup. I've not heard the Chew 2, and I've not heard a balanced setup with the Chew 2. But I mean, you let me know. Yeah, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what your experience is. I'd like to know. I've just not had the time to review the Chew 2. I've had a lot of requests, but I've not had the time. Zensi, that's good. It's good to have higher res stuff. Whenever you see source is everything, Zensi. When you move to higher end stuff, whenever it doesn't have to be now. Even when I started stuff, uh, I wasn't picking up the most expensive things. Using Salnotes and comparing to okay. Yeah, you need higher end stuff, Zensi. You need much higher end stuff. For Bono is more neutral and kind of said, yeah, for compared to JD1. I'm pretty sure Tangzu was good, but I think now the market is pretty saturated. Yeah, yeah, there's too much going on in the 2K price range, honestly. Gotham, can you suggest good 10K? You know what? Go for the um, uh, Oriveti OD200. Check out my review on it. There's an affiliate link in the video link. There's an affiliate link down below if you'd like to support the channel. If you don't, no problem. Go straight on over to Headphone Zone and buy that. It's going for a very good price. These IEMs belong in the 18 to 20K price range very easily. Vishnu, is it universal to burn in the Senis earphones after 1 month of usage? Sound signature. Senis earphones? What is Seni? Acha, the Sennheiser. Acha, the ones you just bought. Uh, if you've been using it, it's gone through a burn-in anyway. So the whole point of a burn-in is just to ease up the driver. So I the HD 700s and HD 800s that I have, I mean with my own with my own gear, I do like a 200 250 hour burn-in. It's a very delicate burn-in because I start at a very low volume and I play very soft, easy sort of instrumental music, classical stuff, and then in hour sort of 20 I move to something else, hour 40 I move to something else, hour 60. So the burn-in process is very slow that I do with my personal equipment. And 250 is way too much. People will think I'm insane, but it's my equipment. I can do whatever the hell I want with it. So by the time I get to 250 hours, I'm at a much louder volume for sure. Now I don't listen to stuff loud, but I get to a level that is fun, but not you know, over loud. And I get to heavier stuff. So I usually only play back acoustic stuff. I don't do electronic stuff because a lot of electronic stuff, lower frequencies have too much bass or excursion. And the whole point of really looking after your stuff is avoid too much excursion from your headphones or your speaker driver. So that's my thing. But I've heard um, a friend of mine also bought the LS50s shortly after I did, and I've heard his setup and mine. Now the room could be a factor and so on. The way he set his speakers up, distance from the wall, breathability, all that is a factor. But also he EQs his LS50s. I don't. So, but I found that I obviously prefer how I've done my setup. So this burn-in thing is a very interesting topic. Truthia Hexa. Have I heard? Have I tested the Hexa? I don't even know, man. Like I've just done so much. I'm losing track. I'm just checking Paul's POV. Truthia. No, I don't think I've tested the Hexa. I've done the Hola. And the no, it's just the Hola. But Hexa, why do I think I've tested it? I don't think I've tested it, but I did like Truth Years got good stuff. I've been wanting to review the Gate, but again, I've not had a chance. Anyway, moving on. I think currently Vishnu, the DD Hi-Fi is not going to do much. You'll have to do like a 80-hour burn in if you're, or maybe a 100-hour burn in with that DD Hi-Fi. It's not going to do much. It's not powerful enough to really move that entire setup much. Tushar, best IM at 1800. Check out my review on the Tangzu Warner versus the JD one. These two are kind of my favorites. Do you think the ZS2 is underrated? Is it? I've not tested the Salnotes Clinical 02. I've heard good things about it though. Man, it's getting very difficult to keep up, especially in that price range. There are just so many IMs there that it's impossible to review everything. It's impossible. I can't keep up. So like even the stuff I'm reviewing now, it's just like I'm struggling to keep up. I've started saying no to a lot of manufacturers that are writing to me because I just can't keep up. Yeah, if I want to stick to my style of review, I can't take on more too many reviews because I like to spend time and really break down the product and script for it. And you guys have seen my reviews, so if I stop doing that, then I just become another guy reviewing audio products. So I don't want to do that. So yeah, I'm sorry, I've not reviewed the 7 Hertz Salnos Clinical 02, but I have to say no to some products. And then Arvind, hi. Arvind, do me a favor. I hope you're still here. Can you please? I hope you have Instagram. Uh, can you please just message me right away on my Instagram? It's Paul's POV 20. Just message me there. I'll talk to you there. Hmm? Sorry, coming back. Guys, Arvind is here. He's the person who's won the my first ever giveaway. I've never had giveaways on the channel, but I didn't know how to do it. If you've seen my last video, you would have seen how I did it, and he's won that giveaway, which is pretty cool. Anyway, moving on. Yes, how about iBaso DC? Not reviewed it. I'm sorry, Santosh. I've not yet reviewed it. iBaso stuff I've heard is good. Hexa is great, boring, no spark. That's one way to put it. If you've heard it, thanks for that, Fallen. I'm using LG V60 in quad DAC supported device, which IM suits here music like Indian K-pop. LG V60 should have a good sounding DAC. What's your budget for? Have you said already? When IM suits engine quality. What's your budget, JKV? Hexa still top tier under 10K, but just boring. But what under 10K, man, like the OD200 is there. I mean, I've not tested many, but yeah, I think the OD200 is sensational. Does portable DAC work when Android compared to iOS? No, the testing I've done, um, I found them to be pretty similar with iOS and Android. I've not found any major difference. One sec. Okay, moving on. Tripovin. Yeah, I have not heard it. I can't. Hybrid between JBL Tower M2 Sony. I've not tested the ULT. A lot of people have been wanting me to. Hi, Arvind. Hang on, I'll put you there. So I've been asking Sony for stuff. I don't think they want to send me any stuff to review. I'm obviously not a large enough channel for them. But I'm sure the ULT is great, man. Like the Sony makes good stuff. But I really like the TOR One M2. I'll give you, a little tidbit for that, a highlight that you should be aware of. The TOR One M2 is not a loud set of headphones. Like at 30% volume it's soft, 50% volume is soft. At 70 it gets loud, and I know there are a lot of people who want more loudness. They want more bang and kick. I know Sony's and Boses do that now. JBL has gone the opposite way. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you're okay with that, it's beautifully detailed. I really like how it's been tuned. It sounds premium, it sounds clean. The bass response is good. I really like it. They're kind of leaning more towards overall clarity and musical presentation. So I do really like how the TOR One M2 sounds. So I'd recommend that for sure because I've tested it also. And if you want to buy it, affiliate link down below. Check out my review. I've got affiliate links there also. Cool. Next one. My confusion is I have a file plus quad DAC supported device. What is a file plus quad DAC? Go for using Zcat. Okay, Zca's, but I'm not satisfied. Please suggest. Um, what is it your what is the budget you're looking at, JKV for IMs? The Tangzu One headphones on edition. Sound quality is fine, but it hurts my ears after 15 minutes. Recommend something similar pricing does not. Kartika, what hurts your ears? Is it the IM itself or is it the ear tip? For somebody who has never tried a DAC before, could you briefly explain what it does compared to hearing it without it? Sudha, that's a good question. Damn, how do I put this? It's a very good question. Uh, okay, let me figure this out. If you are sort of here's the thing. Sudha, have you ever seen an old CRT screen? For the old big TVs that were huge and heavy. They had a very nice picture, nice colors and so on and so forth. But at the same time, they weren't really set up properly for high resolution, 1080p, 4K, 8K kind of resolution video. So if you watch that, it's nice. It was nice. It was a good experience, whether you use it for computers or for home viewing. Very nice. But if you were to send a signal through it to somehow show 1080p, 4K, and 8K, the visual on that will still be um, the same, if you can figure out that analog swap. Now, the thing is, you are still getting a visual, but it's not feeding you the proper resolution that's being fed to it. So for that, you need to move to a 4K screen or a HD screen or a screen that supports 8K to see higher resolution stuff. That's pretty much how it is when it comes to exactly what you're asking when it comes to the difference of listening to a good quality DAC amp or nothing at all. If you're just plugging into your old PC or an old phone or something, the hardware that was handling the DAC chip and the amp chip were just not good enough. So usually that's the upgrade in sound. But there are many other factors: what IEMs you're listening to, what headphones, what speakers you're listening to. But that's pretty much it. And it all starts with the source. You should, if you're playing an MP3 and spending lakhs on good headphones and earphones, that's insane. You need a good source, a good high quality file to listen to your music with, and then a good DAC chip to convert the ones and zeros to a good analog signal, which in turn a good amp will boost that analog signal to the equipment you're listening to. So it's a bit of a spiral. Anyway, moving on. Thanks for that question. So yes, I got the one is you watching. Okay, Abhijit, congratulations, Arvind. Yes, nice. I DM'd. Yes, Arvind. Thank you. I've just responded to you, Venkat. I want to give someone an IM around 6K for classical news like a daily driver, either with Keyfine Delchi or any other IM. I've done, Venkat, check out my review on the EW300 versus Keyfine Delchi versus RT T10 and 500 LM. Those, I think,
I mean, I can't say they're some of the best I've heard because they're the only ones I've heard in this price range. Um, but it's between the EW 300 and Delchi. I myself lean towards the Delchi. It's very musical. It's a beautiful sounding set of IMs. I didn't think I'd like it as much, but I did like it for my review, as I do every other product I listen to. But when I did the back to back, the A/B testing with the 300 and the Delchi, uh, the Delchi is very nice sounding. It's a nice warm sounding set of IMs. Yeah, I mean, it makes me smile when I think about it. It's a lovely experience. So if the person you're gifting it to really likes, musicality, the Delchi is like listening to an old cassette tape. It's warm. It's cozy. It's a nice sounding set of IMs. The EW 300 is more, you know, digital era. It's more CD sound. If that makes sense to you. Under 10K, OD 200. JKV OD 200, man. All the way. That's your budget. That's what you need to go for. These IEMs should cost 18 to 20,000. It's genuinely a good set of headphones, IEMs. Affiliate link down below or in the video review I've got. You don't feel obligated to use the link. But if you do, whatever I get from it will support the channel. Moving on, high power, there's no problem. You answer my another question. Good quality DAC for balanced output. Anirban, I've not heard too many balanced things, but I've heard the uh, check out my review of the QTX. The Rose Techniques QTX comes with a little RZ 550 DAC amp. It has a balanced output, and it's actually I've heard the OD 200s on that balanced output, and man, it sounded absolutely sensational. It's got one of the newer DACs in it. It's a very good sounding DAC amp. I also do have the EPZ TP35 right here that also has a balanced output over there, 3.5 and a 4.4. So I'm slowly expanding into all these things as well. I've not yet really spent too much time with them, but I do like how they sound, of course. Karthika, IEMs hurt your ears, not the ear tips. Damn. Karthika, the problem is, Karthika, the problem with IEMs is a lot of them in that price range are very similarly sized. Tangzus, KZs, shit. What else? But there's a whole bunch of stuff that is, it's kind of large and on the same size. um, your tips will not fix your thing. But honestly, if you had the budget, I would have straight away said go for the Meze Albas. They are the most compact earphones or IEMs I've heard, and they're just so comfortable, especially for somebody with smaller ears. I myself have maybe medium sized ears, and they sit so snug. But I presume they're out of your budget. But yeah, that's a difficult one. I think maybe connect with the guys at Headphones On or us. I hope somebody here can help out, with suggesting smaller IEMs. Guys, Karthika's got a problem with small ears. Tangzu wanna hurting, please help. Okay, my headphone budget is 20K. Which one do you think is the best that price range? Galileo, I've got a feeling they're not here anymore, but I could be wrong. A set of headphones that I personally want to buy in this budget, I've been putting it off because I don't have space to put them all the time to listen to them, is the DT 900 Pro X open backs. I have heard the 700 Pro X, they're great for for closed backs, but I always lean towards open, and I genuinely fell madly in love with the Bear Dynamics um, 900 Pro X. I don't think we'll regret it, especially if you've got good hardware to drive it. It's a fantastic set of headphones. Just like Hola's Hexa, also marvel at the respective prices. The technicality Hexa are very good. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, cool. Few FT1 not tested. I guess I'm joining very late. How you, Paul? Long time. Yes, Mr. Meister. Nice to see you here, man. Yeah, long time no stream. I've been a bit caught up, but I said I have to. I was planning on putting off today as well. I said, nah, I need to come say hi. Hope everything's good with you. Mango Jam, best treble head IEM with decent bass under 50K. Wow. I've not yet ventured into the 50K price range for IEMs. So I don't want to give you any wrong information. Ashok Reddy, hey Paul, can you such a balance output DAC under 10K? I've not heard many, but again, check out the if you can get your hands on the one I've heard that I really like that I've paired with the OD200 for some listening was the Rose Techniques RZ550. I have tested this in my uh, Rose Techniques QTX review because it comes in the box. It's part of that package, so it's a very good set of a DAC amp, and I think it's available as well on Concept Cart. Maybe the 500 is available, not the 550, but it's a very good DAC amp. Moving on, Manish, do you have any experience with headphones on warranty claim? No, I've bought very few things from Headphone Zone, which are shit Lear 2, shit Loki, topping D50S. What else have I bought from them? XB10, Astel and Kern. Yeah, I've not had any issues with my products, so I've not really done a warranty claim. But if you do have an issue, just call them up, man. Like I know they have people who are very helpful. At least whoever I've interacted with, they've been very good to me. Before I was, doing anything like this, I have interacted with them, and they were pretty good to me. Fallen OD200 over Meze Alba. I can't say for sure. To be very honest, I was listening to. I just today I've done some A/B testing with the OD200 and the Meze Alba, and I don't want to say anything just yet because I am working on a comparison. So I'm not gatekeeping. It's just that I've not yet really come to a full-fledged decision about it. So I will come out with my review before the year end for sure, and let you guys know about OD200 versus Meze. But I think again, like I don't like to say better. I like to say both have their own characteristics. I'll try and break them down in the comparison video and let you guys know. Cool. Final audio would be good for small ears. Yeah, hey, that's a good one. Mango Jam. Thanks for that, man. Uh, the bullet style earphones for Kartika, if you're here, bullet style earphones should sort out this issue. I didn't think about that. Good one. Thanks for that, Mango. Mezar was not in my budget yet. Thanks. Okay, yeah. SimGod Supermix versus Oriveti 200. It is part of the comparison that you'll see the three boxes here. This is the OD200, this is the Meze Alba, and this is the SM4. I am listening to these three because I want to know myself how three of them sort of work out against each other. So maybe not this week, maybe the following week, this video should be out. But I want to take my time. I want to listen to them carefully before I form an opinion. So I don't want to say anything right now. Moving on. Fallen, yeah, in fact, oddly enough, they have written to me. I've not responded to them, man. I'm just so swamped with stuff. I've got like so much stuff here that I need to finish before I look at other stuff. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I want to do that myself. In fact, I want to get into home audio. I want to do speakers. I want to do, other stuff, not just the in-ear and wireless stuff. Vishnu, tips and tricks on wearing angled driver headphones. Thanks for even considering to read this. Not many people to ask. Tips and tricks on wearing angled driver headphones. There are no tips and tricks really, man, because um, the thing with that with headphones, it's more than IEMs, headphones can tend to sound different to people more so than IEMs. Because it's using your entire ear, your ear structure, all the little crevices and twists and turns contribute towards the sound entering your ear canal a little bit differently. So certain frequencies will spike. Ear canal resonance is also a factor with IEMs as well, but even with headphones because there's more stuff going in. But it's a matter of like, see, one thing I've noticed after, I never noticed this before, but if I look at you, I think you can only see my left ear. You can't see my right ear because my right ear sort of tucks in slightly further back. So not only are your ears different, there'll be a slightly different heights and slightly different, angles. So there's no tip and trick, man. Like trust your ears. See the angles you want to place it at. See what you're comfortable with, and your position will never work for somebody else. Each of us have different life experiences, audio experiences, you name it, and these different things make us our own sort of people and individuals. So find, listen to your ears, trust your ears, Vishnu. Okay, eagerly waiting for key find clean. Key find clean. Yeah, I know it's the newest model. No, I think a lot of people have been wanting the key find clean review. Yeah. Apoor, have you tried Rosella Aurora Ultra Hybrid Driver IM? Rosella Aurora? No, I have not even. Let me check. This is Rose's Elsa, is Rose Techniques. I've reviewed a few things from. No, I have not tested these. I don't even have them on my table, so I can't tell you what I think about them. But I like Rose Techniques is making some good stuff. One thing I've realized: Rose Techniques IEMs need run-ins. I've got some stuff pending from them also. Damn. I think I'm upsetting a lot of manufacturers because I've not come out with the reviews. Even EPZ, I think they were kind of upset with me. But whatever, I do what I can. Um Anyway, moving on, we're waiting for the review. Cool, thank you. Good, it's just good your tip pairs. Most come in single sizes are all three sizes without burning the pocket. Avijit, just go for foam ear tips, man. At least I found in my experience with the few ear tips I have. I've got some from EPZ. I've used some foam ear tips I got with. I think Earfun had foam ear tips, so I've been using that to swap. And the thing with the foam ear tip is I don't have any here. When you squeeze it into your ear, it sort of compresses and then it sort of expands to that size. And the thing with the foam ear tip is it holds on because it's porous, so it really holds on. So if you've got, waxy ears, they'll hold on to the pores, so you'll have to clean them once in a while. But a foam ear tip sort of expands and holds the area better. And because it's foam, usually your audio gets a little bit warmer, more musical, if you will. And it it helps with passive isolation because lesser noise will bleed in since it's porous. It absorbs what's coming in. If anything goes through the sides or whatever ear. So a foam ear tip is something I usually like to recommend. So try that if you haven't just yet. But the Casta wants to go, I must say best in price range. Okay, I've heard good things about the Casta. I've not tested. Karthik got a killer D07 DAC amp. If Yeah, I've not heard that. Mr. My angle drivers are meant to mimic soundstage characters because you just hear them normally. It's like yeah, I'd like to fall in. I really do want to go to. I'm sure you know this. I've spoken to you guys about this fall in before. I started off with a lot of low budget stuff and low budget meaning the 2000, 3000, 5000 rupee earphones because my idea originally was to you know talk about everything audio, whether it's wireless earphones, even if they're affordable. I think the most affordable set of earphones I've reviewed was 1000 rupees, and I spoke about that set of earphones like I would a 1 lakh set of earphones. Give it the respect that it deserves. And at the same time, the people who watch those reviews will be like, "Hey, what is soundstage? What is imaging? What is he talking about?" And anybody honestly who's inquisitive about it is going to go in and sort of search for these things, and it'll educate them. So that was the drive for starting at affordable stuff because I wanted to have these people move on to IEMs. And in fact, I've had a few people who have watched my mass market stuff and they're saying, I want to try the IEM game now. So I think the end goal has started happening. So that's why I started the budget stuff. But yeah, I do want to move over to the more premium stuff. I am getting a little bit bored of the affordable stuff. Oversaturation in the 2K price range and all. It's repetition for me. It gets boring, So I want to move to better stuff. But thanks, Fallen. That's very sweet of you. Moving on. My favorite IEM, Mango. Uh, I've had a set of I've not heard many Mango, from being very honest with you. I mean, you threw that question to me about the 50K. I definitely haven't heard stuff. I'm pretty sure you've heard a lot of more stuff than I have. But a set that I really like that's still on my desk that I always want to reach to and listen to is the SimGot EA 1000. That's the format edition that I reviewed last year. It's been a whole year. And honestly, there are times when I'm just heading out, and I want to listen to music, whether in a cab or whatever. I say no to, the wireless stuff. There is music bleed in, but they are a very nice sounding set of IEMs. I really do like them. I think they go for maybe 17 or 18,000 on headphones on, but I really do like how those sound. But now after the Olivetti and this SM4 and all, I don't know if that still will retain that, but I need to do some A/B testing to just check. But yeah, those are my favorites for now. Chongji, hi. HD 600 or R70X or AR 50,000 or 900 Pro X? I have only heard the 900 Pro X from this list. So I again don't want to give you wrong information. If anyone can assist, Soumyajit, please do suggest some good TWS under 5K. Best sound. Mohan, check out my reviews on the earphone Air Pro 4, Air Pro 3, and Free Pro 3. Super value for money earphones. Superb sound. If you're more of an audiophile, go for the Free Pro. It has an audiophile tuning as well. Affiliate links in the videos, affiliate links down below. Feel free to use it. If you don't want to, don't feel obligated, no issue. You can buy directly from the websites like Amazon and Headphones on Concept Cart and all that. Wagner SG Caster. I have not heard the Caster. Um, Anshul, sorry, I can't give you wrong information. You must review the cast and the think the best under 2K. Yeah, so this is what I've said. This is the issue. The caster. A lot of people have asked for. A lot of people have asked for the Chew 2 review. I'm getting a lot of review requests for a lot of these affordable things that there's a lot of stuff going on there. There's too much going on there, so it's difficult to choose. Which is why I started sort of going into the higher price range for reviews. It's not as saturated as the 2K range. um, Satyam, hi. Paul type C IM DSP or an IM 3.5 with DAC adapter. I'm really struggling for satisfactory answer. It's very simple, Satyam. If you want a no nonsense set of IMs with type C, plug and play, you buy the type C. It's fairly straightforward. If you want to buy something that you're getting into the hobby with for the first time and you want to play around with tunings, FIO JD1, it's got 5 tunings on the USB-C variant. I myself do not like USB-C DSP IMs because I do like a little bit of control for coloration. So if I want to listen to different DACs with their own sort of tonality in them when I'm doing DAC testing uh, or IM testing, there are certain flavors I look for that has to happen at the DAC and amp part of the audio loop. So the DSP variant won't let me do it. So that's a big reason why I still like listening to stereo speakers, because if I want a different different colorations, different amps sound different. Different DACs are able to give out a different kind of tonal quality with its analog signal and all that sort of stuff. So I prefer the 3.5 for that. It gives me more customization for a personal sound that way. But then again, a lot of people can come and argue, say you can use things like wavelet and do that tuning. But again, that tuning for me, I'm kind of old school. That tuning is on a digital spectrum. It's not on an analog spectrum. I prefer analog flavoring over digital. I hope that gives you some sort of understanding. Anyway, moving on, Karthik, just checking in, still using SoundCall Life Note for 4.5 years. Is that a typo? 4.5 years. How long do the batteries last? Abhijit, thanks a lot, Paul, for clarifying the doubts. Really appreciate it. I'm a new subscriber to your channel. I really love your honest. Thank you, Abhijit. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Moving on. Yeah, I think it's time for everyone to log off. It's 10:30, man. Moving on. I checked out your comparison. Easy Key and Delchi, like Delchi felt wow, they were compared to each other, right? Better daily driver durability. Venkat, E300 has taken on the same EW300 has taken on the same EW200 design. Fingerprint magnets, for sure, they show a lot of fingerprint marks. They will show, they don't look as clean. I don't like using the EW300 because I'm a bit particular that way. So even during my testing, I'm like, oh man, the EW300 looks gross. So I'll take a cloth and wipe it, and that it ends up scratching it. The Keyfind LG is designed better to avoid that. You will not see fingerprint marks. You will not see scratches and scuffs on it. It looks premium. It feels premium. At the same time, it is kind of discreet. That's why I like the Delchi. So on that aspect that you've asked, I will recommend the Delchi again. over the EW300. But durability wise, I suspect the SIM gots to also last a long time. These are not, the build quality of all of these products has reached a level where it's still pretty good. It's not going to pack up, in a few days time, unless there's some catastrophic failure, like, or incident where it gets run over by a car. But by themselves, they shouldn't pack up anytime soon. There's not much going on. There's no battery, no extra electronics, and the technology that's being used in at least the Keyfind LG is a single dynamic, is old school. It's tried and tested for decades, so it's not going to pack up anytime soon. The SimGot, on the other hand, has many different drivers, so I don't know the reliability of how long that will last. But SimGot being SimGot, I think it'll last a long time. You shouldn't worry about it. Moving on, Fallen. Now that you listen to so many sets, 10 to 15, give Hexa a try. I'm not asking you for a review. Okay, thanks, Fallen. I'll see if I can get my hands on a Hexa. Uh, I don't know anyone who has a set. Maybe I might have a friend who does. I'll ask him if he does, and I'll try them out. Will you be reviewing Awful Performer 5+2? No plans of it. Mr. Meister, blue lighting on the background is neat. Makes you stand out on the screen, kind of like 3D movie. Thank you. It's a very simple setup. It's a quick setup for me. I've been doing it for a while, so I'm used to it. It just comes to me mechanically now. But thanks for that. I do like to play around with lighting and all. I am originally a photographer, so lighting I enjoy playing with. Moving on, Somajit, hi. Also, do you think the KEFs are worth it? I currently use a JBL 305. JBL, what is the JBL 305? Let me see. 305 Mark II. Okay. Acha, for monitors, what KEFs are you talking about? Because according to the 305 I'm seeing online and the KEFs behind me, there's a slight price difference. Rose Technique or review, please. Yeah, I'll try. I'll speak to the folk at Rose Techniques. I don't know if they'll send because I've still got a lot of stuff pending from them on my desk. What times do you want to listen? Boys' songs sound amazing because of vocals. Yes. Approve. Enjoy your IEMs. Make a video about Hydis. Yeah, no, I don't have plans on it just yet. Maybe in the new year. The SimGot QC quality control is bad. Okay. The sets that I've gotten from SimGot is I've not had issues, but then again, see, Fallen, I'm not to be very transparent with you guys, like I like to be, is the testing I do, I'm very thorough, yes. But I don't use a product for, you know, months on end like you guys will. If you pick up a product and you're using it, you are definitely going to see more glitches over time because, build quality wise, they're going through more use, they're going through more travel. So obviously, you guys will have a better idea for wear and tear. So yeah, I mean, if you're saying you've experienced bad QC from SimGot, I believe you. I definitely do. It's not something I can counter for sure. And honestly, none of these companies are supporting the channel or sponsoring me, so I don't have to sugarcoat anything. Thankfully, Satyam, hi. I really like how detailed your content is and the kind of person who explains stuff to others. Very appreciate. Thank you for that shout out, Satyam. I appreciate it. It's small comments like this that keep me going on this channel. Semi, hi. Yeah, I read your comment. Roses Elsa. I'll try, but I don't know if Rose Techniques will send me any stuff because I'm literally looking at two products that are still pending for Rose Techniques that I should have done a while ago. I've just absolutely swamped with reviews and the usual work I do. Uh, Outside of this is for me. It's like a passion project, so I don't get as much time. Apurva, yeah. When I get stuff, I do stuff, man. Like if I get things I want to do, I do. I don't take every project that comes to me, but yeah, I've enjoyed it. If Yeah. Anyway, moving on, I was just thinking between Power Amp and U app. I've not tested these. Zensi, I have had people tell me about these. But I've not used them myself because I like the analog stuff. I don't like playing around with too much digital stuff. But one digital thing that I found that was really good was damn, where's it gone? Hibi Music. It's HIBY Music. This app is properly nice because it kind of educates you about certain elements in your music and how you can describe and experience it. So when you use a slider to go a little high on warmth or a little low on warmth, you'll understand what concept it is. So it gives you a better understanding of music, and getting that better understanding of audio will let you describe it better, understand it better, teach people better. So check out Hibi Music. It's something that I've used briefly, and I do like how it operates. Moving on, so the dual driver or a single 10 dynamic driver, the more driving is more good balance on. No, Tushar, usually a lot of brands that do the multiple driver thing, I don't know if you're talking about wireless earphones or IEMs, but for wireless earphones, it's a feature. It's like, when the first Creta came out, sunroof, electronic ORVMs, all this sort of stuff. People were buying it for the features. There's some audio brands who do that, but if it's tuned well, it can sound good. But from my experience, having one point source for coherence is better. Like some speakers have one driver. Like for example, this speaker behind me, I don't know if you can see it, but that speaker there is the LS50, and if you can see it, it's a coaxial driver, so it's not just one driver. The section around it is the mid and lower frequency sort of driver, and it has a middle cutout that is the tweeter. So now, because your tweeter and your vocals and your lower frequencies are coming from one place, see, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you from one point source. I don't have, the S's, P's, and T's don't come from my forehead and my mid range from here. It's one point source. Our ears and we have evolved to listen to single point accurate sources. So when you listen to a speaker like this, having one point source is normally more coherent. It's more natural sounding. It's cleaner sounding if it's tuned well. um, so usually, like if you compare earphones or head or speakers that way, they'll sound cleaner. But the thing that they'll miss out is, oh, there's not enough bass, or the lower mids don't sound full enough. That's when speaker companies start saying, okay, we will put a squawker, or we'll put a lower frequency driver to enhance these things and crossovers to handle it. And yeah, the music sounds bigger. But these are like small nuances that if you're a proper audiophile and you like nuances, you'll focus into these. But a lot of people don't bother about this kind of stuff. But yeah, that's a great sort of question. I myself have found, with some recent testing I've done, there are drivers that I like in with a single driver layout, like the Keyfind LG with the EW300. I prefer the Keyfind LG. It's, like I said, more coherent. And then, okay, sound quality wise, if I buy 4 5K, will it give me decent enough quality to enjoy music like an IEM, or should I go with IEM strictly to enjoy music? Satyam, if you're going, excuse me, if you want the convenience of wirelessness and you want good audio, the only one I'd like recommend to you, if you're an audiophile, like you like the nuance, check out my review on the earphone Free Pro 3. Great set of earphones, great quality, and good affordable set of earphones as well. So you can check that out. But if you're okay having a cable, I will recommend spending more than that. I'd say spend at least maybe in the 6K range. Keyfind LGs compared with the iFi Go Link will cost you 9,000 bucks, I think, totally. So it's a bit more expensive, but it's a more long-term plan because it's not going to give up. The battery is not going to give up in 18 to 24 months. So that's something to consider. So you have to weigh out, what things you're looking for. But yeah, the Free Pro 3 are a very nice sounding set of IEMs, of earphones. It does have an audiophile tuning from none other than Olaf himself. He had a YouTube channel. I don't know if he's come back on, but check out that review of mine. Vishnu, hi. Paul, your thoughts on technicalities and tone and timbre, the same price, ballpark IM headphones. What is the major thing you notice as you have tested many? Uh, This specific thing you're talking about, Vishnu, I'll talk briefly about. I don't know if you've seen that comparison I did with the four IEMs. Those were in the 6K, 7K price range. And I found that, see, I think you've noticed in a lot of reviews, I don't talk about timber. When it comes to timber, I don't talk about it in the 2K, 3K price range, because these IEMs don't really give a sense of too much reality. And the thing is, I'm comparing it with, like, I play an acoustic piano myself. I play an acoustic guitar myself. I've dabbled with the saxophone, which I have not used in a long time. Clarinet, flute, all this. So I can relate to what real things sound like. I did do a bit of audio engineering many years ago. I was amping a lot of bands and all. So I do know what I'm looking for when it comes to timbre. I know what I like when it comes to reality in music. And it's only in the 6 7K price range where there's a sense of that getting truer, getting real. The 2 and 3K don't really get there, of course. um, and of course, the higher in price you go, usually the more realistic it gets. But also in some cases, there are brands that, however real things may get, because of tuning, realism is sacrificed. So there's, some headphones I've heard that might have too much of an upper mid-range accentuation, and that thins out. Or should I say, if you're listening to a nice nylon string broad neck acoustic guitar, if it doesn't have enough elevation in the lower mids, it's going to sound tinny, and there's not going to be any body to it. So there's a lot of elements involved in this. It's a very good question, Vishnu. That's quite cool. But yeah, all in all, I see 6K onwards, 7K onwards is usually where I've noticed more realism exist. Technicality wise, the 2K range is pretty good. I think that's one thing that the 2K range has been doing pretty well lately. But at the same time, it's not. I mean, it's good, but it's not quite there. So at the same time, it's good enough to say, yeah, diminishing returns is a factor. Um, but yeah, I mean, if somebody spoke to me and said, listen, I've got like 5 grand or 10 grand I want to spend, I won't recommend a 2K set of IMs. After what I've heard, I think the 10K range that I've started listening to lately is actually a very good place to actually start. If you actually want to, you're going to spend a future in audiophilia, the 10K price range with IEMs is great. The 20K range is also great for open backs, headphones with what Bear Dynamic has to have. But yeah, man, nice question. I rarely get questions that make me think so much. Thanks for that, Vishnu. That's pretty cool. LG V60 quad DAC, more good to listen to without an external DAC. It should be. Semi, the LGs are usually the only guys who focused on good hardware. I've not heard of any other brand that's made good DAC and amps in their phones. Max Gaming, 16 core cables and 8 core. That's a good question. Um, to give you my very honest opinion, I don't want to call it snake oil, because I've heard a difference, not with speakers, but I've heard a difference with IEMs and headphones with balanced and non-balanced cables. I know that cables can make a difference, but at the same time, with speakers, I have not done my own testing, proper A/B testing to see the difference. But having said that, I was talking to my cousin about this the other day. He's also a fellow music enthusiast and audiophile. He was telling me about some tests they did at an audiophile convention some years ago, where they had very high-end speakers. I think they were multiple lakhs, some 7 8 lakhs each. I mean, for the pair, and Macintosh amps and everything. And they were swapping very high-end cables with coat hangers. Old coat hangers were made of metal, so they bent everything out of shape and plugged it into the Macintosh, and then fed the speakers. And they did blind testing, and nobody could tell the difference. So, speaker cables have a lot to do with bling. I have a few nice cables with me, and more often than not, I see myself appreciating, the overall craftsmanship of it. They're usually built very well. They're beautiful looking cables. And again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So, I mean, if you get a chance to listen to the 8 core and 16 core, check it out, figure it out yourself, trust your ear. Maybe let me know what you think. Anyway, moving on. Vivek, hi, a dynamic driver or planar magnetic IM, which one is better? I don't like this question of which is better. because it's very subjective. What is better to you is not necessarily better to me. But I will say that they have different characteristics. It's like the ICE, the internal combustion engine. It exists, many different ones exist. You've got your Wankel engine, the rotary. You've got your V's. You've got the whatever, the usual, yeah, piston stuff. What is it called? I've forgotten. I've totally had a brain fart right now. But the usual internal combustion engine compared to a Wankel and so on do the same job. They'll get you from point A to point B. They'll throw these drivers will throw air at you, but um, they do it slightly differently. So the characteristics are different for sure. So a dynamic driver is the most conventional. It has been tried and tested for decades on end. It's definitely going to be a good performer, an all-round performer. A planar is very different in its approach, in its design, and its characteristics. Usually lean towards more technicalities. It's able to do a lot of that, but usually I found their base response isn't as dramatic as a dynamic driver. So again, it's a matter of preference. You have to see what you like, what the characteristics are, how they've been tuned, and decide which one you want. Moving on, semi V-shape, Harman sound, balance sound. Normally, which one is better for wide stereotype audio? Usually, V-shape means accentuated bass. Accentuated bass equals longer wavelength, which can cancel out mid and high frequencies to a certain extent, which also contributes towards eating into detail. So I myself like a flat response. In other words, more balanced. Uh, my thing is balanced. Even when I listen to my speakers and all, I'm not EQing anything. My EQs are completely flat. I'm listening to it as the artist intended. But yeah, I mean, play around with stuff at the same time. At the same semi, if you want to experiment with this, play around with EQs, play around with V, play around with the balance tuning. Check out. I've got a video on how to EQ earphones. You can use this for speakers as well. But I've given a basic guide. I think it's called how to use EQ or how to EQ, and it's with some JBL earphones. I did this video with, but the principle is the same. Try that. I think it's a slightly different approach compared to what a lot of people do. A lot of people, boost EQ. I go the other way. So just check out that video and see if it works for you. Sudha, hi. Could you recommend the best stereo speakers with 3.5 mm cable for computers under 2, 3? I've not tested any, Sudha. So I'm not sure. I don't want to give you any bad information. I've not tested any. It's been years since I've even looked at buying computer speakers. I'm considering looking at some now again, because the set I have, I think, is kind of on its way out. I've had it for quite a while. But computer speaker wise, 2 to 3 range difficult. I think Creative makes some good stuff. I mean, they don't make stuff as nicely as they used to, maybe 10, 15 years ago. Alltech Lansing used to be quite good. I remember Alltech Lansing, Harman Kardon sticks used to be awesome. These are all legendary things. Then the Harman Kardon, no, they were JBLs, JBL Spyros, JBL Spots. I had a set of JBL Spots. You've just made me go and remember some lovely stuff. Thank you for this. But yeah, I don't know about the 2 and 3,000 range. I'm sorry about that. Satyam, hi, is burning required for every earphone, headphone, and will it help if I have already used the device? No, if you've used it for a certain amount of time, the burn-in is done. The burn-in is basically, so a lot of people will put on headphones and earphones and listen to it and say, it's not good, send it back, I don't want it. The burn-in is there to help. It's a fresh driver, it's a fresh unit, everything is tight, everything's not been exercised. So a burn-in is to ease everything up. Now, you can burn in any device, whether it's your IEMs or headphones or earphones or speakers. I've noticed in all these years of being an audio enthusiast, it's every device doesn't react to a burn-in. There are some devices, like some TWS earphones most TWS earphones that I've heard do not respond to a burn-in. Some very rarely do respond to a burn-in, but I found a lot of IEMs respond more towards burn-ins than not. So if you've used it already, it's already been exercised, it's already opened up. So it's mainly for those people who say, oh, no, it's too bright or not enough bass. A burn-in usually, when you get back to it 24 hours later or 50 hours later or whatever, it's usually warmer sounding. It's usually not as piercing in certain frequencies. It's easier because it's loosened its shoulders, so to say. Autosec IC engines. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Meister. System IM has frequency from 20 to 20. Other have 20 to 40. 7 to 45. Actually, is true to hear on human ears. Semi, the human capability is 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Just to break it down in brief, we cannot hear above 20 kilohertz. Usually, there are some people that have very rarely heard above 24 or up to 24 kilohertz, but usually past a certain age this starts diminishing. And I think more so lately because a lot of people are listening to music too loud, and not giving their ears a break. Even if you're not listening to it too loud, you need to take a break once in a while, not have your ears plugged in all the time. You can get infections. These are things, but anyway, 20 to 20 is what we can hear as a standard. Some people can do, you know, 20 to 18 or 20 to 15, which is fine. The musical spectrum when it comes to drums, guitars, all this sort of stuff, the highest sounding element or instrument can hit just about 10 kilohertz, maybe 11, 12 kilohertz at the most, not even 15 or 18 or 20. The things that exist at 12 kilohertz and 20 kilohertz are echoes and reverb. So if you record somebody singing or playing an organ or playing a piano in a cathedral, the frequencies that are whipping around, bouncing off the walls in cathedral walls, and the dome shaped construct, amplified to an extent where they do hit those frequencies. So if you listen to a recording like Judy Collins' Amazing Grace, recorded in a cathedral with really good equipment and high res audio, you'll hear those resonances, coming at you. Whereas in studios, usually it's the instruments will hold up to 10 to 12. So why do instruments, or should I say headphones and IEMs and speakers, have responses up to 40,000 hertz? For that matter, the HD 800 behind me has up to 100,000 kilohertz response. Uh, Unnecessary, yes, but a big reason why a lot of this equipment is tested to that level and so on is, for example, how do I explain this? If you were to take a 10 lakh rupee car and it's capable of doing 200 kilometers per hour, if you're holding 200 kilometers per hour, it's straining. It's holding that. It's struggling to hold it. The engine is redlining. You're in top gear. Air resistance is too much. It's not built to be aerodynamic. All these things are a factor. So it is straining the car. Whereas if you get a more expensive car that can do it more comfortably, it's not redlining. The engine is not redlining. You'll be doing the 200 kilometers per hour, but you'll be doing it at maybe 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 RPM, which is not 7,000, redlining, depending on what kind of engine it is, of course. Now, it is able to give you the 200 kph, but at a more easy, relaxed manner. So that is basically what is happening with all these IEMs, headphones, speakers. The fact that they can do that easily, 100,000 or 20,000, 40,000 hertz, 50,000 hertz, they can do it, which means they can handle the 20 kilohertz, 15 kilohertz, and 10,000 kilohertz that much easier and more effortlessly. Whereas if you listen to a set of doing the opposite, if you listen to a set of earphones or headphones that can only do up to 10,000 kilohertz, listen to it. I've heard a set of headphones that only do up to 10,000 and it sounds restricted. It's struggling to do the 10,000 kilohertz, so even just a normal snare or a cymbal being hit, it struggles to do it. So that's basically what it is. It's called, in other words, it's called headroom. An instrument or a speaker that has more headroom will be able to do 20,000, 15,000, and 10,000 much better than in a set of headphones or earphones that has a lower headroom. Sorry for boring you guys with that information, but I'll move on. The level of detail you go into each review is unmatched. Keeper. Thank you, Apurva. Vishnu, have you heard any Taga Harmony speakers? Especially, no, I have not heard Taga Harmony, but I wanted to buy a Taga Harmony tube amp many years ago when Taga was just being born. They had a beautiful little stereo pre-tubes with a solid state amp output, and it had Bluetooth, it had auxiliary in, it had RCA in. It was pretty amazing. Taga, I think, is uh, come a long way. So I've not heard this stuff, but I'm sure they're pretty good. Pentatronics hit me hard on the Sennheiser. Thanks. Nice. Yeah, yeah. Pentatronics is beautifully recorded stuff, really. I've been hearing a lot about ear infections, hearing loss among friends and relatives, mostly working in IT, taking calls all day, TWS, even, yeah. Yes, absolutely, Miss Meister. This is a thing, people are not aware of these things, which is very sad. And if, especially for a person who loves music, it's very sad when these things are taken from them. So it's very important to practice hearing health. I think that's a big reason why I've always stuck to saying, volume limits and everything in all my reviews. Could you recommend some of those old speakers, legendary, based on your own? Oh, it's time to go. My batteries are dying. Based on your own the computer that you used back in the day. I'm quite desperately. Okay. Sudha, I liked the. I don't know if you can get the JBL Spots. Beautiful sounding set of speakers. In fact, I was very upset with my brother because one of his friends came home and increased the bass. I had set everything just right, the TV feeding the speakers was at 80% volume. It wasn't, going up, so it wouldn't clip. I'd set everything just right. And one day when I was at home, this friend of his increased the bass. Oh, bass is not enough. Oh, we need it louder, and increase the TV volume. And you should not go over 80% from source because then it'll clip. Too strong a signal. And the woofer just it ruptured. So that was the end of it. I tried repairing it, but by the time I tried, there were no parts available for it. Very sad. But yeah, the JBL Spots, the JBL Spyros, check out these old stock if you can get of Harman Kardon sound sticks, whatever. One, two, three. They're older. The four is the latest, but one, two, or three. If anyone's selling them at a good price, superb sounding speakers. I myself have a Bose Companion 5 set of speakers. It's actually a 5.1 setup. At least they called it a 5.1 setup. It's a nice setup, but I think it's on its way out. So that's why I'm looking for speakers. But if you can get an older set, you should be able to do that. Ishwar, hi. No review for the Truth Here Gate. Sorry. Need to be more aware of what is taking care of you here. Yes, I agree. Um, Thank you. Is best music player below 3K. I've not tested any music players below 3K. Our phones are the best music players now. They've got Apple Music, Spotify, everything. Vivek, what about Sony SS? SSCS5. What is that? Sony SSCS5. No, I have not heard these. Speaker wise, I've not really expanded into these, but I have heard some Yamahas. Yamaha makes some good stuff. What about the creative speakers? Is there any specific one? I don't know any specific creative ones, but the older ones, I think I'm remembering some Altec Lansings. Altec Lansings, they had like a down firing mid and bass woofer on the small desktop units, and like two or three or four tweeters facing you and a separate subwoofer. But this was an era where computer speakers were doing very well, very different. Best time to get in budget. I don't know, man. 2K, it's everything is good. Yeah, it's difficult to say. But okay, guys, I had a poll that is, I'm ending now. Yeah, I thought as much. I just wanted to figure out if most of you guys were audiophiles or the questions I get are very audiophile related. So I've pretty much stuck to doing a lot more audiophile reviews lately. But yeah, I think I need to do more mass market stuff also. A lot of people are missing that. No comment. Best Sudha, best IM under 10,000. Just go for these. Look at my review on the Olivetti OD200. It's really sensationally good. These really need to be sold for 18,000, 20,000. Anyway, that's about it, guys. I've been online for a long time. My batteries are dying, and tomorrow's a working day. So I also need to go and message Arvind. So it's almost 11. Wow. So cool. Arvind is still here, man. So cool. Thank you guys for being here. I'll try and do more live sessions. I've not done for a long time, but in the new year, I think I'm just trying to finish a whole bunch of reviews before my winter break. So thanks for being here. All the best to you guys. Have a nice work week, and remember to take it easy. Don't overdo anything. Don't overwork yourself, and keep listening to your music. And all the best to all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. See you guys. Bye.